So to think how ridiculous it is that what we are going through right now, and historically, all the theologians, all the philosophy rotate and gravitate around this whole mystification where there is so much conjecture, education, postulation based around this main area of truth. And that is that this archetype, this female archetype, Satana, Hel, Tiamat, Lilith, Lady of the Wood, however she may manifest, is constantly trying to say, or trying to hack into the authentic man. Why can't I, the female, be in, when I am exposed to man, he is only giving me his lower self. And the higher self of man is when man goes away from copulation or his duties, his stoic duties, that he is in stoic practice with the woman, and the woman ultimately tests him and causes him to fail over and over again. But it is his, the homage to the queen, right? That he is going down with the ship, he's dying on that hill. But in his time away from her, only then is he exposed to this God source. And she's going, how can this man with this little penis and these little human wants and desires become this other thing, right? This transcendental being when he is away from me. And being in the presence of me automatically brings out only the carnal. Like she's demanding a hacking in to this effulgence, into this open dialogue and open stream with God as soon as the woman is gone, right? And so what we are going through can be surmised into that. And there are men who, brilliant men who admittedly turn themselves, turn toward being warlocks. They follow the witch's way. They say, I'm all right with it. I got money. I got praise. I'm coming out pretty good with this. But they're not asking the deep, penetrating questions. They're merely henchmen that are protecting surface observation. And then you get into the fact that are the Knights Templar or the Druids are really the Masons, the very high level Masons, privy to this and aware of this? Is the aspersions toward Luciferian worship, which is only mentioned once in Isaiah, and then the Satans, right, really mentioned infrequently and never like specifically. Like the Satans is more of the generalized term for this sort of adversary coalition, right? That is either protecting God save the queen kind of thing, but what God are you hailing when you say that? That there is an archetype behind this hacking in of Eve, this this lust that overtook Lilith. That even when we place this feminine lust in man, right, which you could say Michel Foucault was displaying, and even Nietzsche to some degree, but it's in all of us. That this unquenchable, undeniable thirst, right, that is female in its essence, now placed in man as an alchemical process. Why does he still, just with this little bit of Y chromosomal information, why does he still have the ability to go off on his own, right, and be like Moses, where he's directly exposed as soon as the chick is away? Sometimes he's got to go up on a mountain. Sometimes he's got to starve himself and lie prostrate in the middle of a desert, but he's still able to access this. But she never is. But when they get into sainthood, it's people that came really close to this, whether it's male or female, that can tap. So is this element, this materia prima, if you will, this pure source completely, are women completely barred from it. And we see that there's inferences, such as in the Gospel of Mary, right, where it's alluded to that quite possibly there is a transcendent factor here, but that Mary invariably becomes man and goes through this process, that this is not harkened back to the feminine energy, that this is not harkened back to Sophia, which is the carnal aspect of wisdom, the physical wisdom, that to truly be in liege, in line with this God source energy, there's a transmutation, an alchemical transmutation that takes place, where you have to become only the manifestation of the Father, right? So I think this is often misinterpreted, but it's kind of like the Hindu gods and deities, where you see that these are emanations that take place light years after the initial emanation, that somehow man is able to transcend time and space and access this. And even when in the rare instance that women can do this, they have transmuted into this original state of man, and they are no longer hearkened back to the feminine, the female, the Sophia, or the woman man, which is what we are. We are version. We have nipples. You turn the dial and you change our neural hormones. We grow breasts. We start to think and react like females. But that Y chromosome, there's something in there that when we lay prostrate and we are in self-denial, right? When we cut out, when we focus on our dietary measures, on our exercise, and we are in line with that, that somehow we are in line with this original source energy. And that is what Satanism and all of these strange religions and these cults are all about. Is it's this anger that why can't we access this energy, right? But then what they end up doing is they end up falling short as a practice and going into this thelemic sex worship and everything else. So was Aleister Crowley tapping into this? He was trying to adamantly, defiantly try to tap into an energy that would amalgamate into this chimera, where he could infuse. He thought, like, this whole energy of Horus and so forth, right? The Egyptians, that they're trying to infuse or imbue carnal energy with this, that there would be this all-powerful aspect that would come forth, that they believed that in Horus and in other depictions, like Jason Rizzo Giorgiani talking about Prometheus, that a more carnal aspect to this pure source energy in amalgamation, in this sort of homogeneous chimera, that it could be infused and become one active agent, that it could exist in the material and it could exist in the etheric or the plasma state.